Happy holidays and welcome to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room. My name is Jason C, and if you're a subscriber, thanks so much for the support and for coming back and watching. If you're new to the channel, looking for the latest in whiskey and bourbon news and reviews, you have found the right place, so hit that subscribe button below and hit that bell notification so you know when I'm releasing a new video, or you could join in on one of my fun live streams. Weller, the original wheated bourbon from Buffalo Trace, has added a couple branches to the family tree in the last couple years, including CYPB and the Weller Full Proof just this year. With the help of some generous viewers and just in time for the holidays, the Weller family is all here together and ready for a blind mashup to see which Weller reigns supreme today on the Mash and Drum. Now, in most bourbon circles today, the name William LaRue Weller or Weller can invoke both excitement and frustration. Weller is a wheated bourbon, which means instead of rye as a secondary grain, wheat is used for a smoother sipping experience. But most importantly, Weller is Pappy's cousin. The famous or infamous Pappy Van Winkle, depending how you look at it, are also wheated bourbons and uses the same recipe from Buffalo Trace, which has boosted the popularity of the Weller line to infinite proportions. For a long time, there were three delicious Wellers you can get: the Special Reserve, the Antique 107, and the 12-year. Last year, an offering called CYPB was added, and this year, the Weller Full Proof. Let's take a look at each offering before we dive into the blind mashup. Bottled at 90 proof and sporting a green label, the Weller Special Reserve has an MSRP of around $30 and is said to be around 7 years old. This bourbon has always been one of my favorites as an easy sipper, for introducing bourbon to future bourbon fans, and great for making cocktails. The second in the Weller line is the Weller Antique. This sports a red label, is aged again for around 7 years, and bottled at 107 proof. Antique 107 is for the bourbon drinker looking for an affordable wheated bourbon with a bit more bite and flavor to it. The higher proof gives it some more floral and fruitier qualities and a longer finish. The third and possibly most famous in the Weller line is the Weller 12-year. Featuring a black label, this is aged for 12 years and bottled at 90 proof. Weller 12-year might be the closest thing you could get to tasting a Pappy Van Winkle bourbon. It comes from the same recipe as Van Winkle Lot B, which is also aged 12 years and is the reason this bourbon is so hard to find. While this bottle's MSRP is supposed to be about $30 to $35, because of the age, popularity, and link to Pappy, it's frequently priced at $150 or even higher. Next up is the one called CYPB. A few years ago, Buffalo Trace asked whiskey drinkers to go on their website and craft your perfect bourbon, or CYPB. Whiskey drinkers were asked to choose their ideal bourbon recipe, proof, warehouse location, and age. Thousands participated, and this limited edition bourbon is the result of all that data. The original CYPB wasn't specifically going to be a Weller product, but after the votes, over 100,000 people voted for a wheated recipe bourbon, aged on the highest warehouse floors for 8 years, and bottled at 95 proof. This sports a white label, has an MSRP of around $40. Unfortunately, this bottle is extremely limited and sadly also sold in the secondary market, and I've seen it on shelves for upwards of over $400. Lastly is the Weller Full Proof. Weller's newest family member sports a royal blue label and is bottled at the same 114 proof the spirit was when it entered into the barrel. This is also non-chill filtered to preserve all the naturally occurring residual oils and flavors that occur during the distillation and aging process. This is one of the most anticipated releases of 2019, also said to be around 7 to 8 years old and carries an MSRP of about $50. Since this is the newest in the lineup and full proof version, this is also unfortunately hard to find and has been popping up on the secondary market from about $300 to $400 as well. Now, before I get started, I want to say thanks to a couple of viewers: Dustin Silvestri for lending me his CYPB, and Michael Klein for lending me his Weller Full Proof for this video. I probably wouldn't have seen these in order to make this video, so thank you so much, guys. I'm going to be nosing and tasting all these blind, rank them, and find out which one is my favorite. You'll be able to see what I'm sipping on before I actually find out, so let's drink some Wheaties. All right, guys, so I am obviously very excited to do all 5 of these in a blind mashup for you guys. I've only had the Weller Full Proof and CYPB only a couple times, don't have a lot of experience. Special Reserve, Antique, and 12-year I've had a good amount of experience with, so let's find out which one comes on top for me. Here we go. Let's start with the first one. This one already I could get a good amount of alcohol on the nose. There's a cherry floral type quality going on here. Good amount of cinnamon. Definitely getting the nice vanilla butterscotch notes too that you normally get on a nice Weller. Getting some good oak in here too. This one you're getting a lot of cinnamon, cherry, some floral quality to it. It's nice on the nose. All right, let's go to the palate, see what we get. Cheers. Okay. Wow, that one has some proof to it. I'm getting A good finish on it, some oak. Definitely some vanilla, a little bit of a butterscotch note to it. Definitely getting that cherry, that cinnamon on the back end. Another sip. Second sip was a little bit more of that floral quality, a little bit more cinnamon, oak. Not too much vanilla, not overly butterscotchy. Good amount of proof here. That's really interesting considering that two of these are 90 proof, the Special Reserve and the 12 year. Sometimes I find the Wellers to drink a little bit hotter than they are, but they're all very smooth, easy to drink bourbons for the most part. Let's go for one last sip here. All right, that last sip was pretty good. Had the vanilla, more of that floral quality. Now, I haven't had anything to drink today, so my palate's pretty fresh. I really like the front flavors on that one, but not enjoying the finish too much on that one. That floral quality is really kind of overtaking the palate on this one, so that might give me a clue to what I think I'm drinking, but we'll see. Let's have some water. All right, let's go to number 2 here. All right, this one smells nice. This one just smells darker, a little bit richer here. This one's definitely sweeter, not nearly as floral. This one's coming off more dark caramels and butterscotch. Definitely good amount of oak. Man, you compare the nose to this one. Whew. Yeah, this one just has a little bit like a richer, like sweeter flavors in it. I like the nose on this one definitely more than that one. Let's go for a sip. Here we go. That one was very easy on the palate. I mean, you talk about a smooth sipper. That one was dangerously easy. That one just went right down. Very sweet, very easy. Let's go for another sip here. This one has a little bit more of a butterscotch note to it than I'm getting, which I really like. It's a little bit more vanilla, caramel forward. I'm not getting that floral aspect that I was getting on here, or that little bit of a dryness or bitterness that I was getting on this one. This one is just sweeter, definitely easier on the palate. I really like that one a lot. Let me go for another sip. Yeah, this has a really nice candy sweetness right on the front of the palate. Turns to some vanilla, and on the end you get some nice oak. A little more of that, like that brown butter, butterscotch kind of goes through. That was nice. I like that one. I think this is a lower proof than that one. I don't know how much lower, but it's definitely not giving me the sting that one is. So let's go for another sip here. All right, let's try number 3 here. Let's see what we get. Man, similar nose to number 2, but this one might even be darker than number 2. This one's nice on the nose. More caramels. This one has a little bit more of a pecan note to it, which I really like. Buffalo Trace, to me, does get some pecan notes in it. I know I've mentioned that before. A little bit of cherry, maybe a hint of chocolate, too. I really like that one. The caramel on this one is really rich. The vanilla, too. Very vanilla extract. Kind of almost smells like it's going to be creamy. It's got like that creaminess aspect to it. Let's go for a sip. Here we go. Oh, that one was good. Out of the first 3, that one has easily the best mouthfeel to it. It's really sweet. Good proof point. Man, I love the mouthfeel on this one. This one is definitely more mouth coating, more vanilla. Definitely like a creme brulee thing going on with all that vanilla custard in it. Let's go for another sip. As you let this kind of dance around your palate, you get like these tingly kind of black pepper notes on the front of your tongue. And then as it works its way back, more caramel, vanilla's coming through. A little bit more of that brown butter. It just seems like darker, richer aspect to it. That one's really good. Let's go for one last sip here. Yeah, this one is just like candy. It's so sweet. It's got a nice balance too. It's not overly sweet, but also provides a really nice mouthfeel too. I think 3 might be the leader in the clubhouse so far, so here we go. All right, let's go to number 4. Here we go. This one again, typical Weller Wheater. This one is very butterscotchy, very vanilla forward. A little bit of oak there. A little bit of black pepper spice in there too. Very sweet. This one I'm getting a little bit more of a cotton candy type note on it. Yeah, this one is just really sweet, very vanilla, very caramel. It's not as dark and rich as these two. This one is a little bit lighter with the vanilla. But I think I like the nose on this one even more than this one. This one is just very sweet, very candy. So let's go for the sip here. Here we go. Oh, that one, again, that was a very easy sipper. Really nice. This one, like, you barely, I mean, coming off some of these other ones that were pretty high proof, this is really, really easy. This is very light. There's not a lot of mouth coating going on here, but very sweet at the same time. Let's go for another sip. Yeah, this is just a vanilla bomb. It's like vanilla ice cream in a glass. And man, that is so easy going down. I mean, your typical kind of attribute of a wheater is that the wheated bourbons are a little bit easier to sip. You don't have that bite to it unless it's a higher proof. But this one is just going down real easy. It's really nice on the palate, very simple. It's not overly complex, which makes me think it could be maybe the Special Reserve. I don't want to guess too much, but it's definitely got a very easy profile to it. Let's go for one last sip here. It's still going down. It's still kind of tingling a little bit. Very sweet, very vanilla, very caramel. A little bit of a fruit aspect to it. Maybe a bit of an apple I'm getting too on there. Yeah, so out of the first four, this one's going to be tough. I think these two are kind of the leaders in the clubhouse so far, aside from these two. But we'll see what number 5 holds here. Let me go for another sip of water. All right, let's go into the nose on number 5. Ooh, this one smells nice on the nose. This might be the darkest of all I'm getting out of all 5. This one has a good amount of oak to it. I'm getting a little bit of a chocolate note in there. Cherry. Ton of butterscotch. A lot of vanilla. There's a ton of vanilla going on here. A lot of vanilla extract type flavors. Definitely might be the richest vanilla that I've smelled out of all these. Aside from number 3 here. This one had a strong vanilla note too. Man, I love the nose on this. This is just chocolate, some cherry, a little bit of a ton of vanilla I'm getting here. A lot of vanilla extract. And probably the oakiest I'm getting out of all this. This one has a real kind of big oak flavor jumping out of the glass. All right, let's go for a sip. Here we go. And that one's really nice. That's just beautiful notes of caramel, a ton of vanilla, as I mentioned. As much as you get on the glass, you definitely get it on the palate. Good amount of oak balance, too. Some of these other ones are very sweet, very candy. Not much oak on the finish. This one's giving you a good amount of oak here. Let's go for another sip. The finish is more of an oak spice than an alcohol burn. You're getting some more oakiness to it. You're definitely getting some more, like I said, a lot more vanilla in this one. Yeah, the oak flavors here are balancing the sweet flavors very nicely, which I like a lot. Let's go for another sip here. I like that one a lot. Probably the most balanced out of all of these that I've had so far. This one has just such a beautiful balance of sweet, oak, the vanilla, the caramel. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more sip of each of these, then figure out how I'm going to rank them, and then we're going to reveal which one is which and see which one came out to be my favorite. So be right back. All right, guys, so I'm going to take one more sip of these. I'm going to rank them, and then we're going to find out which one is in each glass. You already know which is in each glass, so the suspense is kind of killing me. I have my guesses, so we'll see how it goes. But the wild card in here that I really haven't tried too much is that CYPB. Being 95 proof, it's kind of an in-between as far as proof-wise, so I'm not sure where it falls or how it's going to drink compared to the other ones. So that's the one that's kind of playing in my brain right now. But let's take one last sip through each of these, and then I'm going to rank these. So let's go for this one, number 1. Okay, this one has stayed very floral. This one is ending a little bit bitter on the end, which is kind of a killer for me for a bourbon. Still very flavorful if you like cherry, cinnamon. It definitely has some of that going on. I'm just not crazy about the way this one is finishing for me at all. Still very good bourbon. I think this is one of the higher proof ones. If I had to guess, I would say that's the antique, just going on the floral quality to it. So that would be my guess. But usually I love 107. I'm not sure if that's 107. I'd be really surprised. So let's go for number 2 here and see what we get. Cheers. This one's really nice. This is very, very butterscotch forward. Very sweet. Not too much of a finish though. One more sip. So this one I like better than this one. This one's a little bit more butterscotch forward. Definitely has a better finish. It's sweeter, a little bit easier to sip, but I don't know. It's not like doing a lot for me here. I don't know what it is. It's missing something. It just seems like both the finish and the sweetness, that butterscotch note, is just going away too fast. If the butterscotch note and the kind of that oak finish was just kind of sticking around a little bit longer, I think that one could have been really, really good. Not really sure which one that one is, but we'll see later. Let's go to the middle one here. Here we go. This one's really good. This is the one that's very mouth coating. This is the one that's giving a really nice finish to it. It's got a lot of sweetness. Pretty good balance too. Not a ton of oak. This is more sweet and candy-like. This is the one I was also getting a little bit of a saltiness to it. There's like a salted caramel type thing going on, which I just absolutely love. Go one last sip here. Yeah, this one is a flavor punch. This one comes through, kind of lights up the palate with some really good flavor. A lot of vanillas, a lot of like that salted caramel note. Get a little bit of an oakiness to it. Maybe a hint of a chocolate I'm getting there as well. Really nice. Actually, the finish getting a little bit more cherry than chocolate, but easily the most mouth coating and the most flavorful between these three. So, all right, quick sip. All right, let's go to number 4 here. Here we go. Yeah, that one's very sweet, very easy. Like I said, this one kind of is the smoothest experience. It doesn't really leave you with a lot of finish. It's just very sweet up front. But the flavors in this one also go away very quickly. This one would lead me to think it could be the Special Reserve. I'm not sure. Nothing against the Special Reserve, but as you keep drinking more bourbons with higher proofs, the lower proof ones kind of don't do too much. But I do love the Special Reserve, especially for introducing people to new bourbons and also for a mixer. But the Special Reserve is really good in its own right. Let's go to the last one, number 5 here. Here we go. I like this one a lot too. This one just has a really nice balance of sweet, oak, vanilla extract, hint of a touch of a kiss of chocolate there. I like that one a lot too. Man, this is going to be so hard to rank these. Let's go for one last sip of this one here. I like that one a lot. I don't think that's a high proof as some of maybe the other ones in here, but that one just has such a good flavor and such a good balance of flavor in that one. I really like that one a lot. Okay, so I'm going to ponder my decision real quick here. I'm going to rank them and be right back. All right, guys, we are back. So let's start ranking these and let's find out what each one is. I am super excited. So in last place, I'm going to put number 4 here in last. It just wasn't enough going on here. So that one's going to go last. Now, the hard one, I think I have my 1 and 2. But the hard one here is between 4 and 3. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one 4th just because of that bitterness. I don't like a bitter finish on the end. It definitely has a little bit more flavor, but I'm going to say that one's 4th. This one will be 3rd. I'm going to put number 5 in 2nd and number 3 in 1st. So, now that these are all lined up, let's find out what each one is. So I guessed that last place one was going to be the Special Reserve, and I was right. This is the Special Reserve. Listen, this is not a bad bourbon. This is one of the best values on the market if you could find it for the $30 price point that it is. It's a really sweet weeder. It's delicious. It's a great start to get into bourbon. I always look to the Special Reserve when I'm doing tastings and trying to get people into bourbon. So not a bad bourbon at all. All these are really good. I am just nitpicking at this point. So let's go to see what number 4 was. This is the one I'm really curious about, 3 and 4. Here we go. Oh my God, are you kidding me? This is 107. Man. Now, I have a lot of 107. I live in Ohio, and we tend to get a lot of Weller 107, and that one just was not tasting right to me tonight. It just was tasting a little bit bitter, a little bit kind of funky on the back end. Well, that's great, because that means these three are the really hard to get ones. So, all right, so let's go to the third glass. This one was kind of the more butterscotch forward one, but just kind of wasn't going one way or the other for me. I wasn't really sure what to think of it. This one is, holy crap. This is the CYPB. So this is the Craft Your Perfect Bourbon. This was the one that was kind of the wild card for me. Wasn't sure what to expect. It's definitely more butterscotch. It's sweet. It's a good bourbon, but I had my skeptical thoughts about this when it was first released. I kind of found it hard to believe that 100,000 people voted for an 8-year-old bourbon at 95 proof. So I don't know. That one was a little bit skeptical to me. It's good. I obviously liked it better than these two, so there's something to that. But for $400 something that it's going for on the secondary and at some stores, hard pass on that one. So now it's down to the final two here, which is Weller 12 and Full Proof. So this one was pretty oaky. I'm gonna guess this was the Weller 12, and this was the Weller 12. It's just a damn good bourbon. I will say that I put this in a blind against the Van Winkle 12. You know, the hard to find Van Winkle 12, that's hundreds of dollars. And this one actually won out. If you ever find this or win a lottery or have a chance to buy this at MSRP, you know, it's really good. It's not $400, $300 good, but it's a damn good bourbon. It's a 12-year-old wheater. It's one of the most perfectly balanced wheaters you're gonna find for 12 years old. It's got enough sweetness and enough oak to keep you interested. It's really good. Which means my number one was the brand new Weller Full Proof. And it makes a difference. This is 114 proof, but not only that, this is non-chill filtered. You get all those compounds and those flavors that are left in the bourbon through distillation and through aging that stays in there. And I think you could totally tell that in this with the mouthfeel in this one and the flavor. It was miles above all four of these. So unfortunately, this one is really hard to get now, but hopefully we're gonna see more of this. I know there's some more store picks hitting the market now. So that is my lineup. Weller Full Proof for the win, Weller 12 to come in second, CYPB third, Antique fourth, surprisingly, and number 5, Special Reserve. All right, everybody, well, I hope you enjoyed this blind mashup for the entire Weller family lineup for 2019. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you've had all 5, if you've had the CYPB, the Weller Full Proof, what you think of it. Let me know down in the comments. I love talking with you guys. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button below. Please hit that like button. Find me on Instagram and find me on Twitter. I love talking with you guys, and as I always say, it is not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. So cheers, and I'm gonna have some more Full Proof. Happy holidays, guys. Take care.